Okay. Hello. And I just want to say welcome everybody to this program where we're going to be doing an interview. My name is Janelle Stevens. I'm a resident here of Randolph. I am a local realtor. I am a nonprofit director, and I'm all about positively impacting my community. In the process of trying to impact my community, a lot of the things that I try to do is to highlight the great things that are happening here in Randolph and highlight programs that I'm involved in that is going to positively impact the community and people who are positively impacting the community. Today, I have with me someone that we're actually on a board together. I'm trying to remember how we met. We met walking, someone that I walk with right here in Randolph. I do a lot of things. So let me just introduce you to my friend, Yvonne. Yvonne Watson, would you just introduce yourself?
Sure. As you said, my name is Yvonne Watson. I live here in Randolph. I'm a resident. I've been here for 22 years now.
Yeah.
I've raised two children, one here. One was pretty much grown before I got here.
You got here to Randolph, you mean?
Randolph. And I retired. I'm a retired Boston Public School employee, taught for 26 years, and then went into administration for another 12 before retiring. And I've switched over to gardening as a vocation and retired from that now, except here in my own garden.
Yes. And sometimes helping other people, giving them pointers and stuff. Yes.
I will do that.
Yes. So Yvonne, tell me a little bit more also about your community. I know, just like myself, you're involved in the community. So tell me about a little bit before we go into the gardening. So we're here doing an interview about gardening. It's that time of the year, everybody's gardening. But I'd like to get to know Yvonne a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the things that you're involved in here in Randolph. Community service, different activities.
Well, I've been involved in a few things over the years. A lot of it related to gardening. I've done some things in the Randolph Public Schools with students. I am a member and a board member of the Randolph Women's Club.
And our treasurer.
We're doing a lot of new things in the club, and I'm looking forward to that club becoming more involved in the community and reaching out and really being a resource for the community. So that's what we're working to build. But our primary goal is to upkeep the Jonathan Belcher House, which is a house built in the 1700s,
Wow.
1806 actually.
Yeah.
It was built, and for over 100 years, the women have been charged with keeping and maintaining that house as a historical site now in Randolph. So that's been my main.
You've been doing that now for, what, is it 3 or 4 years? I think it's 4 years.
Yeah, about that.
And I know it's 4 years because I remember recruiting you. I was talking to you and telling you. So Yvonne served with me. I'm also a board member of the Randolph Women's Club. And Yvonne and I serve, and I was telling her about I'm also a chairperson for the International Women's Day event. And I was telling her about it, and I was trying to get this committee together. And before she even became a member, Yvonne was there helping me out. And now she is so engaged and involved in the club and just what has to happen here in Randolph. So I really appreciate that. You jumped right in with both feet, and you made things happen, and you were an integral part of that committee, the International Women's Day Committee, and then you just jumped right in and started doing so many other things. But today we're here to talk about you being a gardener because I don't know if you can look around a little bit. We're in this space that's like so serene. She has all these different plants and stuff like that around, and she became a master gardener. How long ago was it before you became a master gardener?
Actually,
Before you answer that, how long has it been since you started gardening?
Yeah, I tell you, I've been gardening for many, many years. I've been here for 22 years, and this house afforded me the space to really do some design work that I wanted to do. But I started formally educating myself in 2008.
Okay.
And I took courses at the Landscape Institute at Harvard. They have a certificate in landscape design.
Okay.
And so I did that. They actually closed before I finished. Went over to Boston Architectural College to finish that up. And really started loving just being in the dirt. I started a business with a friend of mine, and we weren't gardening in ground, we were doing container gardens with people in schools and organizations. And we started that, it was a partnership. And then when I found my love of in-ground gardening,
Getting the hands dirty.
yes. And then with no more did I want to do the containers. And
Yes.
my business partner wanted to continue that. So we parted ways and did sole proprietorships from there.
Okay.
And at that point, I started getting clients and just gardening and helping people design their gardens. So I had a vision that when I retired, I would do that full time. Get crews, have the guys, the trucks, the whole that was the vision. But what I didn't realize was that by the time I retired, I would be older.
So she's like, all this hard work of digging in the ground and everything like that takes a toll on you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I did do it for a number of years, but what really stopped me from doing it on a business level was COVID. And when the pandemic hit, it was harder to get people. It was easier for somebody like me because I was able to work in the yard, in the garden, by
Be
myself,
outside, yes.
be outside, not really have to come in contact with people. But that's what started me in my own space. And I loved it so much. I just said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to garden for myself. But to get back to the Master Gardener, that was a part of my education as well. I had wanted to do that for a while, but the Master Gardener program tends to be a program during the week, during work hours.
It makes it hard.
It was very hard to try and do that. I even tried to go to the Rhode Island Master Gardener program.
They have a weekend program?
They had an evening, Tuesday evening program. And I was willing to drive all the way to Rhode Island, 2 hours away. But they didn't think that I would be able to do any volunteering. Master Gardeners is an organization that the purpose is to teach the public or be a public service around gardening, bringing people education and information about gardening, growing food, growing sustainable methods, using sustainable methods and so forth. So, they wouldn't let me do that. So I had to wait until I retired.
So did you just become a master gardener, or did you have always, like, is it 5 years, 2 years? How long has it been? Have you been a master gardener?
I got my certificate in 2017.
Okay.
And it's a year-long. When I did it, this was pre-COVID. So it was 2 7-week sessions.
Okay.
7 weeks in the spring and 7 weeks in the fall classroom work. And then we had to do 30 hours of volunteer gardening all over this Eastern seaboard.
So you saw a lot of beautiful places.
I saw a lot of historical gardens and homes, and it was great. And I purposely jumped around to a lot of different experiences, learned a lot of different things just by doing.
Okay. So you said that gardening affords you an opportunity to just be in your own space, to be peaceful and all of that stuff. So you realized that you wanted to continue and be a master gardener. One of the things that I realize whenever I hear of master gardeners or anything like that, is it typically women that are master gardeners, or do you have a lot of male in that space?
Primarily, they are women, but we do have a number of males. I would say 10% of the organization is male.
Well, another question I want to ask you, in that organization, do you find that there are a lot of minorities that are doing garden? I mean, not just gardening, but master gardening, because I know we do have um, some other gardeners here in Randolph that are minorities. But do you find that they are going on to become master gardeners?
Well, the Master Gardener program here in Massachusetts is primarily, it was based at Elm Bank in Wellesley, first of all. We're no longer there, but it served the women who were primarily living in that area.
Okay.
And then again, as I mentioned, the class hours were during the workday. People have to work. People of color tend to have to work.
Right.
So
that is true.
it was not
Got your
accessible.
family to feed. And
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the program, it's relatively speaking, it's not that costly. But that could be an impediment for some people. So yeah, you don't find many people of color in this area. Now, if you go to Worcester, where there's a larger, the Master Gardener program is centralized around a larger population of minority people, you will find that.
So they probably have classes and stuff like that that's more geared to times that work.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm not sure about their programming, but I bet that's the case. You will find more people of color there.
Okay, so if you have, if you're a gardener, right, and you love gardening, you're still gardening, you can volunteer and go. What would be the advantage to becoming a master gardener, and what would you recommend? Like, if there's someone out there that's gardening, would you recommend that they go and become a master gardener, and what is the benefit?
Well, the benefits are numerous. I tend to find gardeners love to continue their learning, continue their education. The program is really great for giving not only an overview of many topics, but they dig deep in, for instance, soil is the foundation of any garden.
Right.
If you don't have good soil, or soil is the foundation for whatever you're growing. They go so deep into the structure of soil, just every aspect that there is around soil. And that's just one topic.
Okay.
So it's, the advantage is the learning, the education. We have all those courses are taught by either university professors or professionals in the field. So they're experts in their field. The education is great. And then, in addition to physical gardening, we also have to do community service. And that is an advantage as well, if you're a community service oriented person, which
I know you are. I know, because she's done some community service, even at the Belcher House. I remember you came and you were like, I am going to do all of this work around here, and you cleaned up the front of the house and stuff like that. So I guess you did some of the work. It was a lot more messy than it was, and you helped to get that together. So we appreciate that. That's a part of volunteering, right? So, for the young people that's out there, how do you get them engaged in when people wanted to get their hands dirty? I know my daughters, if they see any bugs or anything like that, they're like, oh my gosh. So how would you encourage a young person? What would you tell them that is the benefit of being a master gardener and why they should even look into it?
Gardening is fun. And I think if we start with the youngsters, the young kids, they love it. They love planting and learning about plants and how they grow, and they love growing food, and then they tend to eat what they grow. So if parents have problems getting their children to eat vegetables, that's a great way to get them started. I think that just catching them young. And I've also worked with kids on a high school level, and they don't get exposed to it. So just exposure and helping them to understand that it's, there's fun, there's science behind it, and it's hard work. It's hard work.
Well, I remember when I was a child, I had a patch of land. I don't remember how it was, and every fruit or every anything that I could put in there, I had in there, and it was just amazing to see them grow. Like, and it crowded that space. And you're right. One of the vegetables that I didn't like that was in that garden was carrots, but I ate it because it was mine. So I agree, and I can concur with that because I didn't like carrots, but because it was my carrot, I ate it.
The other thing is, there kids don't understand that you can make a living at horticultural in horticultural areas. Um, it's more than just gardening. Nowadays, there's so much to do in terms of landscape architecture, city planning. Uh, there's just sustainability is a big thing now. Learning how to create sustainable and regenerative buildings, cities, parks. There's money in that. There are careers in that.
Yeah.
So getting kids aware of that is important as well.
I know my daughter, you mentioned Boston Architectural College, and my daughter did a program. My daughter wants to be an architect, and she did a program there. And they did landscape design. And so she got exposed to it. And I think she would be open to it because she got exposed. And she was like, Mom, if I bought some plants, would you allow me to do the yard? And I'm like, but she didn't have enough, but she was open to it. Yeah. So you're right. And then when she looked at my yard and it's such a big space, she's probably like, where do I start? Right? So I am going to challenge you with this question.
We have to connect with her.
Well, this is the challenge then. So I know you've retired, and I know it's a lot of hard work, but you have all this knowledge and everything like that. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm going to challenge you. Would you consider, like, maybe even being a consultant? And if there is a space here in Randolph that we can get, maybe that we can use, and I'd help you, find a space. Would you be open to maybe getting the kids out and saying, let's plant a garden?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I enjoy working with young people. And you're right. Sometimes it's a challenge to get them to get their hands dirty. to do the heavy lifting. But
maybe we can get some volunteers who will work with us to do that. You know what I mean?
And I bet you can find kids or young people who really are interested, really have an interest in doing something like that. So yeah, love it.
Well, if you're out there and you're interested, reach out to RCTV, and they'll get in touch back with us, and we would love to see if there's an interest. So if you are interested, please follow up. I think this is great. You know what I mean? I have a blank slate.
Okay.
A blank slate that if you wanted to work with my daughter and all the kids and plant and do whatever you guys want in that backyard, it's yours. So you guys have a space I see all these lovely plants. If you want to take some and make a border around the back of my yard, I'd be glad. I'm so wonderful. I'll be volunteering that space for you. I'll be volunteering that space for you. Okay. You like the way I did that? You like the way I did that, getting my yard done for free?
There is a woman here in Randolph, and I won't mention her name because I don't know if she wants to be mentioned, but she does use her own home, and she has an organization called Seeds. I can't remember the name of her organization, but again, in the show notes.
Okay.
And she does get volunteers to grow food at her home, and then she donates the food things.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd like that information, because it's something that we'd like to put out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then if you want to do something like that, I find that sometimes young people do more when they know that they're doing something for the community, doing it for the other kids. So if you want to think about doing something like that, sure, I'd love to.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll look into that. I like I said, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm hearing you talking about all this education and all of this knowledge, and I think we can still utilize some of that knowledge without you having to be the one physically doing the work. You know what I mean? Because just teaching is something that I feel like you can do. And if there are anyone that's interested, I would be interested even as an adult, because I'd love to do some things in my yard and stuff like that. I've often taught about, like if you could take a plant and just cut it. I know you can
Propagation.
yeah, get the roots to, so all of those things. Tell me what to do, and I'd love to do that. Yvonne,
It's always learning too. I don't know everything that there is, like propagation, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm just playing around with that now, having some good results, but that's a whole other aspect.
but you have the basics. You know what I mean? So for me coming in, I have no idea all the basics. So working with you, even if you don't know that piece, you already have the basics
together.
So for me, it's that's what it is. It's just developing, utilizing the basics of what you have, and then just building on it. And since you already have the start, it would be helpful. Is there?
Can I just say this
Yeah.
too? There are 4 master gardeners here in Randolph.
Oh, there are.
Yes, and
Okay.
including myself. And there's what I've been talking to the master gardeners about, a few of them, and I need to touch bases with the others, is finding a site here in Randolph and making it a master gardener volunteer site. And that way we would be able to give back to the community of Randolph and solicit Randolph gardeners to come in. I find the best way to learn anything is to do it. So in that volunteerism, in making that master gardener site, we would be able to impart information and gain information. Because we have a lot of different ethnicities here in town, and everybody may have their own garden ways, and we'd be learning from each other.
Okay.
So that would be a
Well, let me know when that happens, because again, I have a backyard that's like a blank slate. I'm looking for plants that will just regenerate next year. I don't want to have to go and do anything again this year. I want to feel like I see you have, yes, I see you have those over there. I'll go and I'll take the weeds out and I'll put the mulch, and it looks good. Teach me how to do that and make it look pretty. I'll be happy. Definitely will be happy. Yes, and I'll be happy. Yvonne, I just want to thank you for taking this afternoon. I know you were busy, you were running around today, but you took the time to just tell us a little bit about gardening. Before we close, is there anything else that you feel like we should know about just you as an individual, about gardening, or anything in general?
I would love to see more people from Randolph, Black and brown people, become master gardeners. Sometimes we feel like, well, I know sometimes it can feel like you don't belong in that space. And when I think about our history of agriculture and horticulture here in this country, the foundation of the country is built on the agricultural sweat equity of many people of color. And we forget that that's our heritage.
Yes.
And I'd love to.
We know how to.
But we know how to, and we
I grew up in the Caribbean. And I grew up in a space where we did just that. I remember telling people that lunchtime, half the time I didn't go home. If I was out playing, there was a mango tree, a guava tree, there was all these trees, and there was all these things that I didn't have to go home for lunch, because there was always something that I could pick or and eat. But that just brought up a topic for me that I'm going to ask you. You may not know the answer, but I'm going to ask. So my daughters, we were having a conversation the other day, and they were telling me that fruit trees are female trees, and bearing trees are males. And so, remember I said when I was growing up, everywhere you walked, there was like that tree would be a soursop tree. That would be a guava tree. There was opportunities for you to be able to pick a fruit and keep moving. And I remember sometimes I'd get in trouble for picking somebody's fruit, but it was there. It was available, right?
Right. There are some species of trees, plants that have both male and female counterparts, and they need each other to procreate.
So the point I was trying to get with is that what they're saying is, and I don't, like I said, I don't know if you know the answer, is that I don't know if it was intentional, but they stopped planting female trees so that the farmers would have the opportunity to grow the crops. And so where you'll see all these oak trees and all these other trees that are non-fruit bearing, they're wide, they're all spread all around, right? But the fruit trees is not as accessible because they want. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not. I know that there's lots of ways that farmers grow food now, and their interest is to multiply as much as possible to make money.
Right.
To commercially. People are now getting back to it. I've talked to people who said if a fruit doesn't have a seed in it, they won't eat it. Because if it doesn't have seed in it, it's not a real fruit. It was
genetically made.
Yeah. So no, I don't know the answer to that. I'm curious. I'd like to get more information.
I'm going to look into that myself. They just said that to me the other day, and I'm like, interesting. But I just thought I'd put that out there. So if any of you know the answer, you can just reach back out to us as well. I definitely will be looking into that. Yvonne, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time and just being here and being in the space. And just giving me an opportunity to I wish I could, it was behind the camera and just pan and show you everything, because this space is just so wonderful and so nice.
You'll have to come back and we'll do a garden tour.
I will. I definitely will. Thank you for the invitation. I'm looking around and there's everywhere you look, there's something different. It's beautiful in here. My name is Janelle Stevens, and I am here in the community. I would love to just have different interviews like this, showcasing the different qualities of the people here in Randolph and what Randolph has to offer. So if you're out there and you have a special interest or a volunteer thing that you're doing that you think we can highlight, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to RCTV, and they will let me know that you're looking. I want to thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.